Welcome back to On the Sticks, where we provide you with information you need so you can spend more time on the sticks. I'm Sticks, and today we'll just be going over the previous Sony State of Play. So last week we had a State of Play from PlayStation. We had a lot of rumors going around that we were going to see some crazy stuff. A lot of potential leaks that we might have got shown, but of course, none of those rumors were true. As usual, But eventually, if people keep predicting those rumors to be happening, eventually they'll come true. So you guys keep making those predictions out there, and one day they will come true. Me personally, I thought it was a good State of Play. Nothing too crazy shown, but I still thought it was a good State of Play. I didn't go into it having crazy high expectations, so that's probably why I thought it was good. If you come in there expecting the next Uncharted game to get announced or the next God of War gameplay trailer or something like that, of course you was going to be disappointed. Stuff like that going to have their own dedicated events that Sony would definitely let people know about ahead of time. But I still think we got shown some pretty interesting things. I didn't like everything that was shown, and I wasn't interested in everything that was shown. But let's see, what all did they show? They started to show off with Exoprimal. To me, it looks like they legit took Anthem and added like arcade dinosaur stuff to it. Legit looked like the javelins in Anthem shown off in the gameplay trailer to me. Let me know down in the comments below if you got the same feeling. Did you feel like those characters came straight from Anthem, or if they looks different to you? Yeah, a lot of people assumed it was Dino Crisis initially, from the characters, from it being from Capcom, and assuming it was just being a more zany arcade type game. But apparently it's not. Who knows, maybe initially it was Dino Crisis, and then they got to the point where they added so much different stuff that was like, yo, we can't call this Dino Crisis, we gotta change the name. I know a lot of people still want a new Dino Crisis game, so maybe, well, I can see it either way. Maybe the interest or the lack of interest in this game could help or hurt the chances of getting a new Dino Crisis game. We just have to wait and see. Then, of course, they showed off some Ghostwire Tokyo, since we have that releasing, is it this upcoming week or the week after, something like that? Me personally, I don't really have a interest in Ghostwire Tokyo that much. It hasn't piqued my interest to try it out, but I haven't really been looking up stuff about it either. But I know they just dropped like a full 18-minute gameplay demo for it or something like that. Not for us to try out, but like a gameplay trailer or something like that, 18 minutes. I haven't checked it out. I don't know if I even will check it out. Me, most likely, I'll probably just wait until reviews for the game drop and check out people streaming it, and then I'll see if it look like something I might be interested in trying out. But so far, I'm probably gonna pass on it. I haven't really seen anything that makes me want to play it. But I mean, I guess it looks cool. I would say it looks cool, but it just doesn't pique my interest. After that, we got some Stranger of Paradise info. I think they had dropped a new demo with the State of Play that was similar to the previous demos, but a little extra added to it, and your demo progress carries over into the full game, so that's nice. Every time they drop the demo, I would tell my friends I would consider checking out the demo, but I don't want to have to relearn to do everything in the game again that I've been redoing since the first demo. I don't want to keep having to go through the same stages and doing the same thing over and over, and like I said, relearning the games and the mechanics. But it's nice that demo progress will carry over from that demo, with Strangers of Paradise coming out this upcoming week. Yeah, I think you guys are probably seeing this video on Monday, March 14th, and I think it comes out at the end of the week. Yeah, hopefully Stranger of Paradise does well. I might check it out. I did enjoy the demo when I played the demo, so I might check it out. I enjoyed it. I like Final Fantasy games. I'm not really too familiar with Souls-like games because that's what it reminds me of. I could definitely see it as a entry for people into Souls-like games, because that's what it reminds me of, with them collabing with, Team Ninja on Strangers of Paradise. So it could be a gateway into Souls-like games for people, like Jedi Fallen Order was for me. That was the first game I've played as quote-unquote Souls-like, and I think it being somewhat based upon an IP that I'm familiar with, being Star Wars, kind of a similar situation. A Souls-like game disguised in the IP of Final Fantasy. So I can see this getting people into that genre of games. Hopefully it comes out, hopefully it's good, and people enjoy it. And then I was kind of surprised they showed Forspoken with it recently getting delayed. I felt like that delay would have meant we weren't going to see anything about it for a little bit, but actually I feel like we've been seeing a lot about it as if it was still coming out around the same time. I think it's the cover game for Game Informer, if I'm not mistaken, as well as had a new trailer, and a lot of folks were saying this trailer is the best trailer they've seen of it so far. Before it got delayed, I didn't even realize they had put out like a gameplay video showing off the game, and I guess that kind of helped fuel the delay, because a lot of people were turned off by it, saying it didn't look good or it seemed kind of bland, kind of boring. Me, ever since the first time they showed Forspoken, I felt like it looks like another Square Enix game. You know, to me, Square makes pretty much the same games over and over, and it's just a matter of if it's an actual Final Fantasy game or not. Which is nothing wrong with that. You know, they're good at what they do, and I enjoy the RPGs, the JRPGs, Final Fantasy, all of that. So I'm interested to see if Forspoken is just a okay game or if it turns out being a great game. That's what I'm interested to see. But from the combat and stuff like that, I think it looks pretty good. Looks like it'll be fun combat wise, but story wise and stuff like that, I'm not sure about all of that just quite yet. But yeah, hopefully the delay improves the game. I don't think the delay can really hurt it too much, other than people just forget about it altogether. But I feel like the extra time should help them improve the quality of the game. They showed Gundam Evolution, which is pretty much Overwatch with Gundams, which could be interesting. I'm sure some folks will enjoy that. I can't remember if it's supposed to be a free-to-play title or not. I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, 6v6 Gundam shooter. Could be interesting. I would love to get into more of a single-player Gundam game, taking me back to the PS2 days of the Gundam games. And I want to say the last Gundam game I really played was on PS3, the Dynasty Warriors style game. I haven't checked out any of the games beyond that, but yeah, shout out to Gundam. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection coming out. I think a lot of people didn't see that coming. I know we got the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game coming out this year or sometime. I think it's a separate game, right? I don't think the other game that's already been announced was part of this collection, but I'm not too familiar with these older Ninja Turtle games, but I'm sure a lot of folks will be happy to see these and play these again, take them back to their childhood. We had GigaBash, which I think was a monster fighting game. Giant kaijus fighting each other. I'm sure you'll see a lot of funny Let's Plays and Twitch streams of people just hanging out, having fun, playing that with their friends. It seemed like a good co-op party mode, hanging out with your buddies, cutting up type joint. I don't know if it's gonna be like a story mode to it or if it's just gonna be straight up fighting. Something I probably won't check out, but like I said, I'm sure you guys will see coverage of that game throughout YouTube. And then they got the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, which I think is just the old JoJo games or game, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. I think I was saying that, brought to current gen consoles or next gen consoles, whichever you consider us at right now. Sure, JoJo fans will appreciate that. I know some people was hoping it was something new for Jump Stars, but who knows if we'll get something else from Jump Stars with the last game pretty much not doing what they wanted it to do. And what they did they recently just stop selling it? I think last Jump Star All-Star, I think that was called Jump Stars. Yeah, they recently just stopped selling it or whatnot. I had considered buying it, but I ended up not pulling the trigger on it because I knew I wasn't even gonna play it. I wasn't even gonna do that to myself. And I thought this game was pretty cool when they showed it. Trek to Yomi. Apparently they showed it at the Devolver Digital Conference last year, but I do not remember them showing it. But it looks pretty cool. And, you know, to me, it's kind of like if you took Ghost of Tsushima and mixed it with Sifu, you could get something like Trek to Yomi. You know, Devolver Digital has had great luck with these smaller games, dropping these gems. So I feel like this is probably going to be a pretty good game. I'm sure we'll see a lot about it the closer it gets to release, and I feel like people should be happy to play it. And I think the most shocking or surprising thing in the state of play was the announcement of the co-op mode coming to Returnal, as well as the, the survival. I think it was like a survival mode or something like that they announced for it. I don't think anybody was expecting anything Returnal related on a serious tip to be shown. I know people joked about the sequel being announced already, but I feel like people knew some kind of expansions or DLC would come to the game. I don't think they was expecting it to come this soon. So a lot of folks were happy about the co-op mode being added and the new survival mode. So I'm sure we'll see a lot about that. And I'm pretty sure there will be a Returnal too at some point, but definitely shouldn't have thought it would be announced at this state of play. And then they went and closed out the conference with 2 more Square Enix games. It's crazy. Square is dropping a lot of games this year, and they're like hit or miss. You know, Square is like, hey, we going all out this year. We got the Diofield Chronicles, and I think people were saying it's pretty much Final Fantasy Tactics without being Final Fantasy Tactics. And I assume people are going to like it still. And they're probably going to just wish it was Final Fantasy Tactics, unless it's trash. And then they're going to be like, we're glad it's not Final Fantasy Tactics. But it looked interesting to me. As somebody that jumped into Fire Emblem 3 Houses and XCOM recently, I could see those kind of games influence here. Those type of games, the RTS type games, showing its influence here. I don't know if I'll check out this joint. With it being just a brand new IP and not actual Final Fantasy game per se, even though it very well could have been. I don't know if I'm gonna jump in and check it out, but you know, who knows? It's definitely not the kind of game for everyone, but I do see it having its audience and being a successful title. And then they had Valkyria Elysium, and apparently it's from the Valkyria series or something like that. I'm not too familiar with this game or this series. It seems like the kind of game I would play. A Square Enix type game. That's their thing. It looks like very Square Enix. I know at first people was thinking it was something for Nier, something from Platinum Games, stuff like that. But to me, as soon as I seen it, I was like, yeah, this is a Square Enix game if I ever seen one. But yeah, it looks interesting. It looked like it would probably be an okay game. I don't know about a great game, you know. With Square putting out so many titles, you know, most of them are probably just going to be mid-tier games, not necessarily a great game every time, and good chance of it being a not so good game with some of their other releases not really hitting the way you expect them to. But yeah, I feel like all around it was a good conference. My main critique is if I was them, I would have closed the conference on the Returnal announcement. I feel like that was the high moment of the conference, and with them announcing that and then continuing on to these 2 brand new games, it kind of lost this momentum, and people was kind of like, what, wait, huh? And they're just stuck on the Returnal info. Matter of fact, you could have had Trek to Yomi and Returnal, the last 2 things, instead of the 2 Square Enix games. I feel like they should have switched that around, but overall I feel like the conference was good in my opinion. But you know, most of the internet probably didn't really vibe with it, even though they said this how the conference is going to be. It's going to focus on their Japanese publishers games, and they did that. Mostly Square. What Square had, how many games shown off? Was it 4, 5, something like that? So it might as well have been a Square Enix state of play. But I ain't mad at it, you know. I'm just hoping Square can get back to putting out those quality titles and go back to being quality over quantity. I feel like that's what they're starting to get into. They just want quantity of games out. Folks were mad there was no Final Fantasy 16 info shown, which I'm not surprised with Forspoken being pushed back. I don't think they're really going to talk about Final Fantasy until they get that out of the door, in my opinion, because I feel like if you show that too closely to Final Fantasy, people are just going to think that's a Final Fantasy game as well. They don't already think that. So I feel like they're going to kind of kill it before it even come out if they start talking about Final Fantasy too early. And like I said, they still got Strangers of Paradise to worry about. You gonna kill that talking about Final Fantasy 16 too early as well. So I was hoping we get some Final Fantasy 16 info at some point this year, and maybe we still do way later in the year. I super doubt we get a release for Final Fantasy 16 this year. I know people was hoping that too, but I don't see that happening at this point. With these delays, I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually get announced that it's been delayed. That's what I'm kind of feeling like is going to happen. That's going to get pushed back some, as well as whatever info they might have had about the next part of the Final Fantasy 7 remake. That's probably getting pushed back as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts and impressions of the recent Sony State of Play. Let me know down in the comments what you guys felt about the State of Play. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was trash? Was it a waste of time? Did you enjoy any of the games they showed off? You looking forward to any of these titles? Did any of your predictions come true? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and be sure to check back here daily for more content from us at OnThaSticks. Thanks.